The good old days are right now. Stop waiting for a time to think that things are going to be easier for you, better for you. The dust is going to settle. When this slows down, it's never going to slow down. There's always going to be something to focus on. My name is Brian Pannuzzo. I'm an executive coach that helps successful professionals get wealthy outside of the office in their mind, their body, and their relationships. I'm an expert at this because I did it myself. I sat inside of corporate America for 2 decades, likely in a seat just like one you sit in today. If I can do it, so can you. Welcome back to the show. My name is Brian. I am the host of the Success Lift podcast. I am the founder of the Success Lift and the head coach inside of High Performance Health, which is my new executive coaching program that I've taken inside of corporate America that I am relaunching, technically speaking, because I've been running it for 2 years in the month of March. I actually am already taking one team through it right now. We're in week like 3 or 4. I work one-on-one with people just like you. I have over 40 one-on-one clients, and I love what I do. And I speak the language of the busy professional. I know exactly what it's like to live your life. The current team that I'm working with are 10 or 11 high performers. And as I was going through all of their intake forms, because I'm gathering data to find out more about you, how I can help you throughout our time together, it was wild. Like every single one of the participants all had kids my age. So it's like, I know exactly what you're going through. I know what you're going through when you're sitting at work, and I know what you're going through when you head home, because I'm dealing with the same crap. I went through the same stresses. I had the same schedule. I get it. I say all the time, I get it. I understand. I understand you. I'm an expert in you. Little promo for my new relaunched corporate wellness program and executive team coaching program. If you think you might be interested in elevating your performance and the performance of your team inside of your company and making 2025 the most profitable, the most productive, the highest connected year of your life in your professional life, also in your personal life, let me know. Reach out to me, Brian at thesuccesslift.com, or reach me any other way you know how to. Text me, send me a message on LinkedIn or on Instagram. Call me. Let's get back to calling people. It's not less texting, more calling, more old school hand-to-hand combat. Do the hard things in our life. Call somebody. It's one thing we do inside of the program is make sure we are actively connecting with our social connections inside our life. We tend to throw our friends overboard because we are chasing a career, and then we are building a family, and we have work obligations, and we feel like we have to come home and deal with all of our family obligations. And we often don't have time to do the things that we want to do. Some of these simple goals that some of the executives had in this new program is simply spend more time on me, schedule me, spend time on the hobby that I love. And isn't that ever so simple? But oftentimes it's not very easy. And I can help show you how. This week, I want to talk about a moment that I had with my daughter that also involves my son, and tie it into a message that I was thinking about like live in the moment as I was playing with my daughter. I want to give you some quick context, okay? I have a 15-year-old and I have a 10-year-old. Hudson is my son. Mila is my daughter. Hudson is my athlete, all right? Or he has always been my athlete. Mila is TBD. Mila is a performer, singer, dancer, cheerleader, actor. She is as theatrical as it gets. If you know Mila, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you've paid attention to me on my Instagram, oftentimes I feature her because who wants to see me when you can see a cute 10-year-old do her thing throughout the years. She has been a fan favorite on my social media, and she's always been this kind of theater performer, right? Hudson's my athlete. Baseball, basketball, any sport. He's locked in on being effectively a Major League Baseball pitcher. Hudson wants to take his baseball career as far as he can go, and he has hopes and dreams to basically turn it into a profession. Mila is starting to get into volleyball. My daughter is also tall. For context, if this is your first time here, you don't know me personally, I'm 6'6". I played college basketball. You can see, if you're watching on YouTube, a little basketball up there. I put that up there to make sure people know that I had game back in the day, and I'm still okay for an old man at 47. And he's always been my athlete. So I've always had connection to my past via Hudson. But Mila is starting to enjoy volleyball. Now, for more context, both of my kids are lefties, which I guess is a big deal in the sports world. It's certainly a big deal in baseball when you're a 6'4", 15-year-old and you're a left-handed pitcher, which is what Hudson is. But Mila is also a lefty. And now Mila's not going to play baseball, but apparently being a tall lefty in volleyball is a big deal too. And while I have absolutely no idea if Mila is going to explore becoming a great volleyball player, she currently is having a blast going to an instructional class inside of a very high level program near us in Southern California. And it's awesome. And I love it. And the coach is great. She played at USC. She's great with the kids. She's super competitive with her national teams and her competitive teams. But then she's in the mix with the girls who are just learning. And Mila is picking up pretty fast. And she's also bringing the things that she's working on at her clinics, and she's at a tournament or two also. She's bringing them home and she's practicing at night. She's putting in the extra reps, which for a nerd like me in mental performance and physical performance gets the juices flowing. These are the things that get me going now these days. What a life I live compared to what I used to live. And so oftentimes at night before bed, I think sometimes it's just the reason for her not to get into bed, but I'll take it. She asked me to pass her the ball while she works on some of her bumps and dives and sets and things like that. So she puts her knee pads on and she's practicing diving on the floor, and we're having some fun in our living room. Now, our living room in our home in California is much smaller than our living room used to be in Cresskill, New Jersey, where we lived for almost 8 years. 8 years. But we still have the same type of couch. We have this like big, huge, beautiful L couch. It's actually a different one because we got young kids and a dog, and we trash every couch and every rug we ever have, but we're stupid and we just keep buying nice stuff. Okay. So we have the same type of couch, and Mila and I were behind the couch. And as I was passing her the ball over and over and over again, I looked over to the couch and I had this flashback moment when Hudson and I would lay on opposite sides of the couch at night before bed, and we would just play catch, and we would wing each other the football or just a Nerf basketball or whatever we had, whatever ball we had that was arm's length away. There were always balls everywhere. We would just play catch, back and forth, back and forth. He would put his hand up. I would try to hit him right in the hand. I would put my hand up. He would try to hit me right in a spot. Then I would go several steps back, which we kind of can't do now in this home that we're in, almost in our kitchen, because we had this beautiful big room that opened up into our kitchen. And he would do a running start onto the couch, and I would try to throw a laser to him, and he would do diving catches, diving one-hand catches. Then we talked about the next day, because I told him this story, how we would be upstairs in the floor where all our bedrooms were. And we had this big open hallway at the top of the stairs that led into all the bedrooms and the office and the laundry room. And we would throw across the stairwell, and we'd work on his one-hand catches. And I had this flashback as I was throwing Mila the ball back and forth, attempting to stay present, of seeing Hudson as a 5-year-old boy, 6-year-old boy, 7-year-old boy, and me laying on the couch. And I literally had this vision of him sitting there, the way he looked. He's 15 now. He looks a lot different. But I was able to visualize him as a young kid, and all those moments that we had going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then when he woke up the next morning to go to school, he and I are up early because he leaves early for school. He has a long commute. I asked him if he remembered that, and he remembered everything. He even told me, he reminded me about being upstairs and working on one-hand catches. And every once in a while, hitting the chandelier that hung down from, the area that you walk into our house. And it was a really cool moment for me. But it was also this learning lesson for me, because yesterday, in air quotes, it felt like I was playing catch with my son. Now, my son and I can still play catch, but he's a high school baseball player now. He's not playing catch with me that much. He goes to his baseball training facility. He goes to his practices. He works on his stuff. He works on his mechanics. He works on his pitches. He plays catch. Very rarely do I play catch with my son anymore. Now, if it's a weekend, if we're on vacation, if he's just trying to get, the feel of throwing the ball, because pitchers are supposed to throw at very low intensity quite often, right? He'll ask me to go outside and play catch. But a lot of times now he has a friend come over and they go across the street to the baseball fields where we live and they play catch. So I'm not the guy anymore. I'm not the guy. Right now I'm the guy for my daughter. But soon I won't be the guy for my daughter either, in a lot of areas of her life. And so the point is, the good old days, right? We always talk about the good old days, how things used to be. The good old days are right now. The good old days are happening in your life right now, right? Remember when you were grinding early in your career. I know you don't want that schedule back. I know you don't want to show up to the office early, and I know you don't want to work till 8, 9, 10 plus PM. I know you don't want to do that 5 or 6 days a week anymore. But I also know that there is a level of nostalgia that you look back on those days, because they were quite frankly, they were simpler then, weren't they? You got up, you went to work, you grinded, you went out, you partied, you went to bed, you got up over and over and over again. And there was this simplicity to that life. It was hard, but it was simple. You didn't have a lot of the stress and the pressure that you have right now as the successful professional that you are. You didn't have a family. You didn't have a wife or a husband that you needed to come home to and serve and be a connected partner to. You didn't have kids that you felt like you needed to provide for. You didn't have the weight of the world on your shoulders like you feel like you do very often right now. Some of you, I know who listen to this, just had kids. And so what a burden, what pressure that feels like. I remember that feeling in my life when my son was born, my first child, of like, oh shit, I have to actually provide for this human being for the next 20-ish years, because he won't be able to provide in some areas of his life for himself, going all the way from wiping his ass to providing for him financially because he's in school all day and he can't make money. And so what I want to summarize for you in this short message, it's not about kids and it's not about work, right? Time's going to fly. Many of you already know this. I know that you know this, but I don't think we think about it enough. I don't think we use the concept of time to our advantage in our life enough. We use it as a disadvantage. We use it as a negative. We use it in the context of, I don't have enough time, I'm so busy. Right? You're going to blink. Some of you already are, but you're going to blink and you're going to be 50. You're going to blink and you're going to be 60 and 70. I work with people in their 50s and 60s. I also work with people in their 30s. Work with a lot of people in their 40s. That's my demo. Mid to late 30s, heavy 40s, a lot of 50s, some 60s. Not a ton, but some. And the perspective that they have has been really powerful for me at 47, because I'm going to blink and I'm going to be 63 years old. My son is 15 and a half years old. I remember my life vividly before he was born. That went by like that. My life is going to go by like that for another 15 years. And I'm going to be in my early 60s. And what do I want to be capable of doing during that time? I recently went on a golf trip to Florida to see some clients and friends. I am fortunately going to see more of my friends in early March for another couple days of golf. I'm blessed to be able to fit these trips into my life. I have amazing friends, amazing connections, and I prioritize this stuff. I want to be doing that 15 years from now. Not only do I want to be doing that 15 years from now, I want to feel phenomenal. I want to walk these golf courses. I want to still hit it 300. I want to feel and look like an athlete and be capable of doing things that I love. I want to be shooting jump shots in the driveway of my son and my daughter's house with my grandkids when I'm in my 70s and 80s. I want to be chasing them around the field and not just sitting on a goddamn chair while the kids run around and grandpa is just sitting there like a fucking lump on a log, not able to move. What are you going to be doing in 15 to 20 years? Will you be capable of doing things that you want to? For some of you, you're not even capable of doing some of the things that you want to right now. You get out of breath chasing your kids for a short period of time. You couldn't carry them around Disney World the entire time. I'm not saying that I would enjoy carrying my 60-ish pound daughter around for hours at Disney World, but if something happened and she sprained her ankle or she got hurt or there was something, I could carry her around. If my son is 200 pounds, all right, I'm not saying I'm carrying him around a theme park, but if that kid gets into trouble and he needs to be carried off of a field or a court, I'm there. And quite frankly, nobody else is. Nobody else I know is carrying that kid off of a field or a court, but I can. And I want to be capable of doing that for as long as possible. I want to travel easily. I hope to be visiting my son at national televised baseball games in college and in the professionals. I want to travel all over the country and watch him pitch. You know how hard it is to travel when you feel like shit, when you look like shit, when you're overweight, when your body is broken down? You know how hard that is? I know people very close to me in my life that struggle to do that. And it's really sad because they've spent their entire lives busting their ass to have some enjoyment of maybe not going to work and grinding every single day. And now they can't travel to enjoy the things, the fruit of their labor, and go see the people that they love. The good old days are right now. Stop waiting for a time to think that things are going to be easier for you, better for you. The dust is going to settle. When this slows down, it's never going to slow down. There's always going to be something to focus on. Whenever you're looking back nostalgically at a time of your life, you're always going to be in a time of your life that you're going to look back on and have nostalgia. I will have nostalgia for this moment right now at some point in the next 5 to 10 years. Remember when it was so simple, when I was building a business that was growing rapidly, but I didn't need, a team of dozens of people or 100 people to run because we've taken over corporate America. And we are the solution for elite mental, physical, and relational performance inside of corporate America. And it was just me and a camera and a VA and clients on an app. And I was able to work from home. And I was able to see my kids every morning. Now I'm getting up and I'm actually going to the office. I got to commute. The good old days are right now. And if you don't do something about the days right now, tomorrow in air quotes, are going to feel a whole lot worse. So while I want you to look back and be nostalgic about the times that you had in the past, you're going to want today to be as amazing as possible. So what will you do today so that you can look back 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now and say, God damn it, that was a good time. Those were the good old days. Hope you have a great week. If this one hits you in any way and there's someone in your life you can share it with, I would appreciate it if you do. I'll see you back here next week.